pen. There we go. Okay. All right, what about 32? What's the biggest perfect square that divides into 32? 16. There you go. 16 times what number is 32? There you go. And the square root of 16 is 4. Now look at the 4. The 4 does not have a square root over him. He's just there by himself. So you're done. You don't mess with it anymore. Don't change it to 2, okay? All right, what about 192? What's the biggest perfect square? 64. Very good. All right, now I know 16. 16 does go into 192, but I need the biggest one, okay? All right, so 64 times, what is that, 3? All right, square root of 64 is 8 on the square root of 3. All right, what about 45? What's the biggest one that goes into 45? 9. 9 times what number is 45? There you go. And that's 3 square root of 5. All right, what about 75? 25, there you go, times 3. And so that's 5 square root of 3. Feel okay? All right, so we're going to save the other 2 for next week, and we'll kind of just cram those in with everything else. And we are going to go to page 37. It's very, very short. And since we have so many people out, I do have your quizzes graded. And they are in I Now, but I'm going to hold on to them until we get everybody back on Monday, okay? And if you want to see yours, come see me after the pep rally and I'll show it to you, okay?
Miss Blackman?
Yes, ma'am?
I have your badge up here at the main office.
Thank you!
You're welcome.
I lost that at the game Friday. No, struggle was real that night, let's just say. I was freaking out. All right, here we go. So, what resembles a linear equation, but it has an inequality symbol instead of an equal symbol? A linear inequality. There you go. All right, so does this have any stipulation that's with it? Does it say, like, if x is greater than 2 or greater than or equal to 2, or does it say if x is less than 1? Does it have any of that? No. So this is different from piecewise. Does that make sense? Do y'all see how it's different? It's the whole thing. You're going to take the whole thing. So what's your slope? There you go. And what's your y-intercept? -2. All right, now you're going to graph it just like normal. Just don't connect the dots yet. So you're going to go to -2 on the y-axis. And then you're going to go down 3 and right 1. Or you could go up 3 and left 1. And you're going to need to make it as big as you possibly can, okay? Just don't connect them yet. Alright, so when we did piecewise, you started at a certain point, and then that point was either open or closed, right? But now you're going to have the whole line is either going to be open or closed. So what do you think a closed line would look like? A straight solid line, right? What do you think an open line? It'd be dotted or broken, however you want to call it, okay? But I'm going to still use open and closed. That way it's still the same terms that we used before. It's not anything different. So would this get an open line or a closed line? It gets a closed. So it's going to look just like it always does. The closed line. Alright, but we got to do one more thing. So on piecewise, it says x less than or x greater than. But on these graphs, it says y greater than. So where do your y's get bigger? As you go to the top or as you go to the bottom? As they go to the top, they get greater than. So you're going to shade everything above that line. Everything above that line. So this is from Algebra 1. It's just a review from that stuff, okay? Remember this? Oh, yeah. All right, so we're going to do domain and range. So what's my domain? There you go. Which means I can just call that what? There you go. All right, what about my range? It's the same thing. It's negative infinity to positive infinity, which is all real numbers. Y'all okay so far? All right, let's go to number 2. What's your slope and your y-intercept on number 2? 1 over 1, and your y-intercept? Negative 5. There you go. So we're going to go up 1 and right 1. And we're going to need to make it pretty large, so that way we can see what we're doing. Or we can go down 1 and left 1. Okay, is this going to be an open line or a closed line? It's an open. Now when you do an open line, when they're this close together, you need to skip a good little bit. That way it actually looks open. Because if you connect them all together, then they're going to look like a closed line, okay? Alright, and it says y less than. Y's are up and down, not left and right. They're up and down. So where do your y's get less than? On the bottom, so you're going to shade below that line. Okay, we're going to do domain and range. What's your domain? All real numbers, yeah. And your range? There you go. They're both all real numbers. All right, number 3 is different, though. What's wrong with number 3? Say that again. What form is that in? It's in standard form, right? We got to get it in slope-intercept form. So to get y by itself, we're going to subtract x. So 2y is greater than negative x plus 6. Then we're going to divide by 2. So y is greater than, how do I write that? Negative 1/2 x. Very good. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my slope is negative 1/2. And my y-intercept is 3. Alright, so I'm going to go up 3 on the y-axis. And then negative 1 tells me to go down 1. Positive 2 tells me to go right 2. Or I can go up 1 and left 2. Make it as big as you can. That way it makes it easy to see where to shade. Alright, so is this an open line or a closed line? It's an open. So it's dotted, it's broken, whatever you want to call it. Alright, and since it says y greater than, where do my y's get bigger? On the top, when you go up. Alright, now unfortunately when I made these copies, the copy machine for some reason wigged out on this page. So if you flip over, that's page 35. And we need to go to page 38. So it'll be the next page over. And I have no idea how that happened. I'm sorry about that. So we need to go to page 38. Alright, now number 4 is different, okay? Number 4 is different. What does number 4 say? X is greater than, right? So what axis are we going to go to? At what number? There you go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now when you're doing this, your first instinct is to go ahead and just draw that line straight there and not pay attention to whether it's open or closed. And you would get lucky in this case because it is closed. But just be very careful that you pay attention, because I promise the one time you don't pay attention, that's when it's going to want a dotted line there. Which is fine. You could just erase some marks if you wanted to. Alright, now this is different because it says X. X is left and right. So where do your X's get greater? To the right. There you go. Good job, guys. Alright, and this time domain and range will be different. No.
Domain in
How far to the left does it go? Does it? It doesn't go any further than 6. Does that 6 get a parentheses or a bracket? It gets a bracket. What if that was a dotted line? It would get parentheses. There you go. And then to the right, I know the graph cuts off, but it's going forever and forever. Where's it going to? Infinity. And infinities always get a parentheses. All right. Range does not change, though. Yep. And if this had been y equals 6, it would be backwards. The range would be all real numbers, but the domain would be all real numbers, but the range would be a certain place. All right, 2 more. What about number 5? What's wrong with that guy? There you go. So we're going to subtract 4x. And we get negative 3y is greater than negative 4x plus 12. Then what do I do? Uh-huh. So what would I get?
Negative 4/3.
Y is less than. Why did I flip the sign?
Because you divide by negative.
Mm-hmm. And those two negatives cancel out, so you have a positive 4/3 x. And then 12 divided by negative 3 is a negative 4. So you're going to go down 4. That's your y-intercept. And then your slope is up 4 and right 3. Or we could go down 4 as long as we went left 3. Yep. Open line or closed line? Open, yep. And just slow down and read. It says y less than. Where do your y's get smaller? On the bottom. There you go, below it. All right, we got one more. Oh, wait, no, we didn't do a domain and range. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, what's domain and range on this one? Yeah. Why do all those have all real numbers, but number 4 didn't have all real numbers for everything?
Because they're slanted.
What makes them slanted? They have a slope. There you go. When they have a slope, they're going to be all real numbers. There you go. All right, what about number 6? What do I do with that guy? It's in standard form. I need to put it in slope-intercept form. Very good. I need to subtract 6. This will be 4y less than or equal to negative 6x minus 24. Divide by 4. Yep. So y is less than negative 6 over 4 minus 6. But I really should reduce that guy right there. Negative 3 over 2. You'll get the same answer though, okay? So we're going to go down 6 for my y-intercept. And then my slope is down 3 and right 2, or up 3 and left 2. Is it? Oh gosh, I forgot my equal to. Yes. Sorry. So that makes it a solid line. And just read what it says. It says y is less than or equal to. So where do your y's get less than? Up or down? Down. So anything below that line. And that's it. We're going to do domain and range. Ooh, got to do domain and range. What's domain and range? All real numbers. Anything with a slope has all real numbers for both of them. You all okay? All right. So we'll wait and look at our quizzes next week, which will be good because that'll give you an extra day to be able to do test corrections, right?